Today, I'm going to show you how to make a fission reactor. They're fairly simple. I have one behind me. They are good sources of power and they're relatively easy to make. Although you do need to have supplies though. So to start, we're going to get some glass and make a circle. And put a fission reactor in the middle. We're also going to want to punch a hole in the side and take a sticky piston and face it inward. This is also where you want to put a control rod there. You're going to need a thermometer as well. The thermometer will keep temperature and let you control this. You can remove that piece of glass so you can see it better. Then you can put another layer of glass. Alright, so now you have this box. This is pretty much the whole thing. Next you need to get some water. Water will cool the fission reactor. You're just going to want to fill up the whole thing, fill up the bottom, then fill up the next row. And then you're going to need some turbines. Like I have one here. These are basically what produce the power. You can just put a set of them on top. And in this configuration, it'll work just fine, but you can use a wrench and right-click it to make a big one, which will produce more power and is generally more effective. So then take some copper wire. You can string it over here. Bring it down to a battery box. Whatever you need. I'm going to flip it around. And then you're pretty much set. You're going to need a hole though to put in your materials. You can just use a sign to block the water. And then that's about it. You're pretty much done at this point. But you do need a lever. And you will need something to use. Fuel rod. So the lever basically pushes that in there. The control rod basically takes the power out of the reactor and will cool it down. You need a thermometer and a fuel rod or the control rod because when this hits 2000 degrees, it will explode. And that is not ideal. So when you put that in there, it'll start warming up. And once it gets to a certain temperature, the turbine will start to spin and you will get power. There it goes. And power is going in. And you're good. Now, if we want to cool it down, you can right-click that, it'll go in, and that should start going down. Although it does glitch out occasionally. So you may have to just remove it or try a couple times. Yep, doesn't seem to be working. So I'm just gonna take out that, place a new one, and see if that works. Okay, so now our temperature is getting pretty warm. We have created a good amount of power. We filled the battery box actually. So we may want to cool it down. Pulling this should work. As you can see, it is cooling down now. So that'll basically keep it from exploding, having that in there. Or you can also come to the side and just right click and you'll pull out the fuel. either way work. If you want, the thermometer will produce a redstone signal. So you can take redstone, and you should be able to link it up to the piston. And when it hits a certain temperature, it should be able to turn it off by itself. But we will see when we hit that temperature. It may take a while to reach 2000 degrees, or at least 1900, but it will hit there eventually, so you don't just think you won't need your redstone, because you definitely will. I wonder if that'll hook up like that. I'm not that great at redstone. Whatever. By right-clicking on the box, the thermometer, I can decrease the temperature from 2000 to 1900 and up to 1800. It should send a signal, which will then increase that. Insert that. When it goes below 1800, the signal will stop, and it will continue producing power for that. And then it will just basically go on and off, and it should never explode. Now, this is an easy way to make an automated system that should never explode, hypothetically. I also recommend, if you're doing this in some sort of base, so instead of using glass, perhaps using reinforced, like bricks, or in this case reinforced concrete. It will hold back the explosion if it does go wrong, and it will create a lot less hassle if anything happens. Alright, so this will be a bit safer. You may want to put some over this, or basically wherever you think you'll need it. That's about it for the Fission Reactor. It's a fairly simple design. It'll give you a good amount of power.